and welcome to the Pursuit of Healthiness Podcast. I'm your host, Vinanda van Delft. I'm a health and mindset coach, spaghetti and ice cream lover, travel junk, and a cat mom. Today's guest is Maria. Maria is a very successful life and business coach who guides you through a life-changing process that will increase your quality of life and business. Her knowledge is about the working of the brain and the human, and it's incredibly interesting. So I'm not going to hold you any longer. So let's start this episode. Hello and welcome to my podcast, Maria. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm perfect. Good, thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing and where you come from.
Well, I am born in Chile, but brought up in Sweden and living in Norway. So it's very international there.
Yeah.
I've been living here for 8 years now in Norway. And I am a mother. I have a 3-year-old. I have a dog and a husband. And yeah. And I work with mindset and just living life.
Cool. So how did you start to go into mindset? Because I'm all about mindset as well, but I'm always curious to see how people are coming there, because often it comes from struggles from your own life and then you go into that. So how did you end up doing what you're doing now?
It's actually interesting because the thing is, when I was a kid, I really was very introverted. And it took me many, many years until I kind of found my own voice. But during that time, I've always been so curious and wanting to help people, even as a kid. I could actually listen to grown-ups. Like it was that kind of
I can relate.
kid.
Like I was the same. Like I could have better relationships with grown-ups than with my own age.
Exactly.
with the kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was so fascinating to listen to these stories and listen to what they do and why they do it and all this philosophy behind it, and the arguments, and everything was very exciting. But I was too young to really understand, but I knew that I wanted to listen and help. There came a point in my life that I kind of just needed to figure out a little bit more about myself, because I've always been interested in psychology, interested in people and the behaviors. But I came to a point that I kind of needed to know who I was.
Yeah.
And I actually took 1 year abroad in Cape Town, and that was really life-changing for me. I hated the job. It wasn't fun at all. I was a travel consultant and I was working for a company, but the people there were amazing. But that made me really take the time off to really get away from what people think of you. I don't know if you relate to that, but
yes,
people always have
absolutely.
opinions of who you are.
Yeah.
And I was just so fed up. I'm like, who am I? So I was 22. I went to the other side of the world, basically, to just have a time out. I'm like, who am I? And I started really going deep in my beliefs. Like, what do I believe? What's true for me? What values do I have? And that year was crazy, like crazy. I bungee jumped. I thrown myself from airplanes. And,
oh my God,
and
that's my biggest fear.
But I love heights. And
do you?
Yeah, I really do. And that's so funny because when I was there, the thing is the bungee jump there, and I don't remember the place, but I think it's the highest or second highest in the world. It's 216 meters free fall. And I remember that in that point, I was so at ease, so happy.
Really?
Yeah, I was just enjoying the view, and I saw the people around me really scared and nervous, and I was like, yeah, I am here. I'm happy.
Oh my God, like how did you feel before you went down? Because there is a point when you are on the edge. Like literally you're on the edge of your death. Like
exactly. And you don't know if it's gonna work or not.
And you felt at peace. Like how?
I really felt at peace, and I was like in this bubble of happiness. And suddenly they're gonna put on the security stuff and all the ropes and everything. And I was standing there. I couldn't really like put my toes on anything. It was in the air, and I was like, "Oh my fucking God, what am I doing?" And suddenly they started to count like 3, 2, and like it just dropped me. And I was
Oh my
just keep my
God.
eyes closed. And like, no, sorry, I was keeping my eyes open actually. I was like, keep your eyes open. That was the only thing I was saying to me during the whole time down. It took like 7 seconds or something like that until the rope like
Yeah,
took me up again.
you bounce back.
Exactly, I bounced back. And I was like, that was like the most amazing freedom feeling in my life.
Really?
And
Like
yeah,
everything is falling just off your shoulders and
yeah, definitely. It was was so amazing. It felt like I could conquer the world. It was insane. Not even
crazy.
the tandem jump, with the airplane. Not even that gave me the same adrenaline kick that the bungee jump did. Like,
But even jumping out of a plane, like I'm afraid of flying, so I cannot imagine that you would willingly jump out of a plane, like a flying plane. It's crazy, but you
it was a
did it.
dream. It was a dream come true, that one. Oh, it was. And then you had like, I don't know, 70 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever to just get down there, like enjoy the view. And someone else was like holding me.
Yeah,
So it feels quite safe anyway.
safe to jump out of a plane. Great.
Definitely. It was, that felt more safe than the bungee jump.
Yeah.
I must say.
Oh, oh my
Yes,
God.
after that was really going deep into self-development. That's where I really came in touch with Tony Robbins. No, actually, it was Robin Sharma first. Tony Robbins came in later, actually. And I started to really wanting to understand what my purpose is in life. And that's where my journey started. And I found the book The Secret in that journey too. And when I was in Cape Town, but I didn't really understand the message there until much, much later. But it came to a point when I started to look at people differently, and I was like really diving into all these books and everything, but I wasn't really applying it. But I was starting to understand it a little bit, and that made me wanting to be a coach. So I went through my certification, became a leadership coach, and did 2 years of coaching. And after that, I went into the Bob Proctor's program with Proctor Gallagher Institute. So now I'm a PGI consultant,
Okay,
and so I really work with the best there. Like
that's
there's so much
amazing.
amazing knowledge and so deep understanding of the world and who you are.
Yeah. So how did, in the end, how did you, I mean, you found yourself right now. You know who you are, what you want to do, right? So
Yeah,
how did it happen? Was it just focusing on mindset or was there more to it? Like, what did you do?
it's a very complex journey sometimes, but it's the only complex if you make it complex. That's the beauty with mindset. And for me, it took me a long time because you kind of need to believe and you need to understand what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You have to open up your awareness. You need to kind of open up your mind and start listening more to your inner self than the circumstance and the people around you. Because like I said, before I went to Cape Town, I was like, oh Maria, you're like this, you're like that. Oh, but you're so sweet and you're so calm. You would never do stuff like that. And I was like, really? Why? Like,
Yeah, it's
why am I not supposed to do stuff like that? Like, is it really the image that you want to have of me, or am I like that for real?
yeah.
And there were many questions there that I needed to just explore and to push myself, work on my confidence, work on my self-image. Most of all, I didn't really know that I was working on my self-image that time. But now, when I'm studying that, I understand that that was my soul basically wanted to just be more and
Yeah.
do more, have more of life, feel life.
Yeah, it's often that we are holding ourselves back because of our beliefs and beliefs that aren't even ours, because we were
Exactly.
brought up a certain way with the beliefs of our parents, and they've been brought up with the beliefs of their parents. So
Yeah,
it's really difficult to really find out who you really are. and what
Yep.
beliefs you have. Well,
It is
yeah, what would you say is like the best, if you are on the self-awareness journey, what is the best point to start, do you think?
to really wanting to explore yourself, be curious of who you are, and start studying.
Yeah, yeah, because we
Start
know
studying.
we are not the persons that we think we are in the beginning. At least that's how I've experienced it, because I've been putting labels on myself because other people said I was like that.
Mm.
And you start to take over that persona, because that's who you are. That's how people describe you. That's how people tell you you are. But you have your own voice and your own, yeah, you are your own person.
You are. And the thing is that when we come into the world, we basically are an open book and we have nothing written in it. And people start writing in their book like this are you are like this and this and this and this. And this is what you have to learn. This is what you should not do. This is what you should do. And everyone is programming you.
Yeah,
And you don't have the ability to reject because your subconscious mind is completely open. You don't have the conscious part to say like, no, I'm 3 year old. They're like, no, I don't want to do that because this and this and this. You came like my 3 year old now. She says no, 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 but she doesn't really understand what she's actually saying no to.
yeah.
Because even I say like, do you want candy? She's like, no. Like, so she doesn't know exactly what she's rejecting. But when you come to like when you're 7 years of age, then you will start developing the conscious mind more and start to really be able to choose what to take and what not to take in. But that's the beauty of growing. And if you think about it, like how many times haven't your parents repeated something so much that you just believed it? Or I don't know, friends, and or even if a stranger came to you and you were really receptive of to take in whatever information came in, perhaps the person was in a really negative state and like, what are you doing this? And
Yeah,
and you feel it directly and you take it in like it was the law.
yeah,
Because until we understand that we can actually choose to take in the information that we want to create ourselves, we are just an open book and taking in everything. That's why the news affect us so much. It's like
yeah,
negative
absolutely.
emails, it's like everything affects our lot if we don't understand how to start using our higher faculties.
Yeah, so it's we really have to choose, and we have the choice to do what we
Absolutely.
want. Like, especially this year, I don't watch TV anymore because I'm like, there's too much negativity, and it's making me sad, and it's making me angry, and it's making me think about things that I don't even want to think about. So
Exactly.
I'm not watching the news anymore, and I'm just surrounding myself with people that have the same mindset, have the same goals, or want the same things out of life. And I can just feel and see that my life is so much more beautiful and so much better because of that. And
Yes.
I think that's the whole thing with life in general. Like, people can see life as bad, or people can see life as something beautiful. It all has to do with your perspective and your beliefs.
Exactly. Exactly. Because if you believe that everything is bad and you really take that as your attitude, that life is bad, the situation we are in is really bad. And I say, like, yes, it's not good. Like, it's not good. I'm not saying that it's all over good,
Yeah,
but you can find good things if you start looking.
true. Yeah, that's true. Like, there are horrible things happening at the moment. And
Yes, and this has always been like that. Like human
yeah,
race is always trying to be killing each other for one reason or another,
yeah,
and so it is what it is. It is
yeah,
bad until you say it's bad, but it can also bring out good. And
yeah,
now it's a new awareness coming up, which I think is a good thing, even though people will have to suffer a little bit for it, and that's just unfortunate because I don't want anyone to suffer, but it's making this global awareness, taking it to a completely new level.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Um, I do you believe that the life that we see is the reality, or is it because of our mindset, the way we want to see life,
I
if you
love
know what I
that
mean?
question. I love that question. We create our reality.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We create our reality. And there was what our thoughts are the ones that are like, it's like this saying, like, what we think, we create, but what we feel, we attract.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's a lot of people saying it, but I'm going to use it here because we create our reality and it's based on that, like the universal laws. Even though you believe it or not, it's the laws that are governing how everything is unfolding in our lives. And when we start thinking about something, it's like there were, I don't know if you heard of the stick person. We talk a lot about the stick person, which is kind of a picture of how our mind could look like, because there is no picture of how our mind looks like. But we are so controlled of our, when we think about things, we always use pictures. So the mind doesn't really have a picture. So this is why the stick man, as we refer to, is a very beautiful description of how the mind works. So if you imagine this circle in a big circle, and then you have a little small circle underneath. On the big circle, you just divide it so you have two parts, the conscious and the subconscious mind. And then the small circle is the body. And whatever happens, because we are all made of energy, and thoughts are energy. So what we do, we take this power into us and make it an idea, a thought that we have. And when we are emotionally involved in that idea or thought, that starts creating our paradigms, which creates our habits. And our habits will manifest in results outwards. So that's why I
Oh,
say we create our reality.
yeah.
And you can always change. That's the beauty of it. We can always change how we see the world. And by changing our paradigms, which is a multitude of habits, we start changing everything we see. And we will be attracting different things to us. And that's how we create our reality. What we see, the vibration we send out comes back. So it's
Oh,
basically like a reflection of your thoughts.
amazing. Yeah, a thing that I always like to think about is it's something simple, but often when people, for example, buy a new car from a certain color and a certain brand, then suddenly you see their car driving all around. Then you're like,
Yeah.
huh? Now everybody's driving their car. But
Yeah.
it's because your subconscious mind is because it's your car, it's something important in your life. So you see that everywhere around you. I always I think that's how an easy way to describe how the mind um focus on the things
Yeah.
that are important to
Absolutely.
you,
You
and that's
start
what you see.
focusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But you don't focus on things you don't really are looking for.
No, exactly.
So when you start seeing that car that you really want to have, you start seeing it everywhere. And it's like when you want to get pregnant, you see all these people around being like super
Having
huge,
babies
yeah,
and
having babies and with a carrier, So
yeah,
yeah, that's when you start putting your focus on what you want, and then you start seeing the possibilities, seeing all around you where the
yeah,
possible, where everything is. So yeah,
yeah. But I
this is
have a
super correct.
question for you, because this scenario is in a way that you focus on what you want. But
Mhm.
when we're going 10 years back when I was
Yeah,
15, and it sounds maybe silly, but I was dating a couple of guys and talking to a couple of guys, and at some point I just had enough. I wanted to have a boyfriend, but I was like, all the guys, they are nothing. I hate them. So at the point that I was like, it's enough. I don't want to have a boyfriend. I don't want to have a guy. That's when I met my partner that I have right now. Like,
mm.
So how does that work then, do you think? Because that was a time that I was saying, no, I don't want that. Like I really felt it from within, but then it showed up.
Yeah. You didn't want that type of guy, but you didn't really. The
Oh,
thing is that you made a decision that you didn't want that type of guy.
oh, I
And
like
when
that.
you make a firm decision of what you want,
Yeah.
that's what you attract. I've actually made the same thing with my with my husband. It's like,
Really?
yeah, I did. It's actually quite funny because me and my husband, we were working together and for me it was like no dating anyone at work. Like it's a huge no.
Yeah.
Like you don't go there. But I was partying, I was like, and sometimes you meet a random guy and everything, and I came to a point like that was not for me. I never really liked that, and I kind of said like, no, enough is enough. That's not who I am because it doesn't really resonate with the picture I have of myself. And I remember standing in front of the mirror and I was like, oh, you know what? The next guy, the next boyfriend I have will be my husband. And that's it. So I put pressure on myself that I'm not going to go out with a lot of guys, but but the time that I actually get a boyfriend, that will be the right person. And and then I just left the thought because I made a firm decision. Like I'm done with that. And then some months later, I started dreaming of my husband. I was like, no, ain't happening. Don't go there. I was like, you're just a dream. And then we actually did go out on a date several months later. It took, I think it was from May to October. This whole
Wow.
scenario happened from
Yeah.
where I said like, no, this is enough, till I actually met him. And it was funny because I was not expecting him at all either. It's like, but I had made up my mind that I was not going to waste my time trying to look for him either.
Yeah.
So it's actually that you made a firm decision that
That's funny
enough is
because
enough.
it was actually like literally 2 weeks. Like it took me 2 weeks for me to say it's enough, and I met him. So that's interesting. It's
Yeah,
really
you were
interesting.
ready to actually meet the right guy. But it's not that you
Yeah,
don't, but because your subconscious was still searching for the right guy. But your
yeah,
conscious mind said like, oh, you know what, this
it's
is not
enough.
really working. It's like, just give me the right person and I'm done. Like,
Yeah,
so that's when the subconscious and the conscious mind is not really, where you're focusing on and not. But the
yeah.
subconscious is basically the emotional mind. So that's always like sending out signals and what
That's
you actually are
interesting.
attracting.
Cool.
Yeah,
So that's like with every relationship, like the partner that you have is basically what you tolerate and allow yourself to have, right?
absolutely.
In
It's
that
what
sense.
you think you're worthy of having as well. It's like there's when the beliefs comes in. It's like if you don't feel that you are worthy your dream husband or the dream guy, you will be attracting guys that you feel worthy too. And that's why a lot of people kind of stays in a bad relationship because they don't think they're worthy anything better. Uh,
Yeah,
and that's a false belief, of course.
yeah.
But until they realize that and change it, they will still be attracting people that don't they are in harmony with, but in a bad vibration.
Oh, interesting. I
Yeah,
love that. I love how the brain works. But I never thought about it that way, that you say like, yeah, no, you just it's enough, but you're still searching for it, and you block basically everything out that is that, and you let everything in that is, well, you subconsciously are looking for. But
but absolutely. But imagine how many times haven't you been in a situation that you want to get promoted in something, and on your conscious level, you're like, yes, this is me, this is for me, this is exactly what I need, and in somewhere that you really are capable of doing that. But in your subconscious, you still have this limiting beliefs like, am I really that capable? Will I do a good job? Do they like me? How will my colleagues react to this? Will they start hating me? Will they kind of take a distance? And your subconscious will always take the
the
hit because
overhand, yeah.
the overhead exactly. And that's what you are attracting to yourself. So if you're sending out like this positive thinking, but if your subconscious is not really aligned with that, you will be sending out the negative thinking and like
Yeah.
the negative vibration. So that's what the other people are gonna feel, even though they are not aware of that. But it's like, no, but that person is gonna be promoted instead. And then you're like, oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
And then you just like say accept the idea again, and then
Hmm.
your subconscious like and your self-image like, yeah, poor me.
Yeah,
Like,
you go in that
and you
victim
just
state.
feed yourself in that.
Yeah. So can we control our subconscious mind? And if so,
We
how do
can
we do it?
Yes, we can control our subconscious. We can change paradigms. We cannot eliminate, but we can replace. So you can never really just remove a habit without actually replacing it with the next habit. So if you're not aware of what habits you actually are creating, you probably are creating bad habits. It's like,
Yeah,
because
I
if you're
know
not creating something good, you're creating
yeah,
something bad.
yeah. Yeah, so for example, with a weight loss journey, because
Mhm.
I'm all about health and mindset. So when you're trying to lose weight, for example, a lot of people, what I understand from what you're saying is they fail because they are trying to change a habit or
Mm,
just completely cut out that habit, like unhealthy eating and stuff like that, but they are not replacing it with something better.
mm.
So to create a sustainable lifestyle change, you need to replace a bad habit with a good one instead of removing that habit.
Exactly. You have to replace the image you have of yourself to be able to go into the new version of yourself. Because you cannot just say like, I'm gonna lose, I don't know, 5 pounds. I don't know how much it is in kilos, but anyway,
Yeah.
whatever amount that you want. And then not knowing what you're gonna change it to and why the reason is or what's the vision for it. Like what picture do you have? Because you can see yourself super skinny, and then you, in the mirror, you will still see yourself fat.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, you can see yourself beautiful, and in reality perhaps you're not looking absolutely your best, but you still feel beautiful. It's
Yeah.
because the self-image in you is controlling that. And when people doesn't control the self-image when they're losing their weight, like, yes, I want to lose weight, but it's not because I want to lose the weight, it's because I want to be healthy. I want to see myself be able to run with my kids. I want to see myself running this marathon. I love marathons. I always take the marathon as an example. Or I want to be able to have this amazing energy the whole day and not only for a couple of minutes. But until you actually replace the image of yourself, you will not see a permanent result of change. You can always make changes for short terms, like really pushing yourself, going with the will, and like really, really pushing. And you will lose that. You will lose the 5 pounds. But as soon as you stop focusing on that and you reach your goal, the only thing that's going to happen is that we all program with this kind of like this almost like a thermostat. It will always try to match whatever image you have. So if you still have the image of yourself being with this extra 5 pounds, the body will do its best to get back this 5 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
That is really
So
interesting.
yeah, so it's until you actually change the image of yourself, you cannot have this long-term permanent changes. You need to start seeing yourself in a new picture.
That is really interesting. So if you want to lose weight or want to gain muscle because you want to look toned and everything,
Mm.
basically it is because you are still with your old beliefs of how you look like, your body will automatically go back to that,
Yeah,
like no matter how hard you're trying.
yeah.
Oh,
That's right.
fascinating.
That's why self-belief is so crucial to understand when you want
Yeah.
to have permanent changes. And people that reach that, it's like they say that when you stop doing a habit, you just stop and you will like start creating a new habit or go back to your old habit. because it's always creating some kind of habit. But then when you stop going towards your goal and losing those 5 pounds, and you reach them, it's like, yeah, I'm done. And
You're done.
then
Yeah.
it's so easy to go back to old habits if you're not continuing that lifestyle that you wish to have. So that's why it's so much better to kind of see yourself doing a lifestyle change
Yeah.
than just having a short-term goal if you
Yeah.
want to have this permanent results.
Yeah, I love that. I love to that's what I'm teaching as well, lifestyle change instead of just
Mm.
short-term diet or something else, you know. You need to
Yeah.
change your life. And that's yeah. No, it's interesting because although I have been doing this for a while now, I never well, this is the first I've heard that before. Like if you believe you look a certain way, your body will automatically do its best to look that way. But I don't know. At this moment when we were talking, it's really sinking in. Like it truly is like that. So if you believe you're not worthy to look a certain way, or if you believe you are a big boned woman, then you will
Mm.
always look like that. So it's
Exactly.
really about changing your beliefs and the way you see yourself.
Mm. Absolutely.
Wow.
It's so crucial
Yeah.
because the only thing that's holding you back is your beliefs of yourself. It's the only thing. And I don't know if people sometimes are scared of losing who they are if they start changing their beliefs and start doing something else. The thing is that we never lose ourselves. We are here to create. And if we need to create a new part of ourselves, it's still us,
Yeah.
but us in a new image.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
So,
I like that. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Like, but I think it's also because people think it's selfish or
mm,
hypocrite to change
yeah,
their
it's like I've
minds.
always been like this. And that's another belief that you get from
Yeah.
generations back.
Yeah.
Like, I am like this. You can't teach an old dog to sit. It's
Yeah.
like, and that's false.
Yeah.
Like that's straight out false. You can actually start
Yeah.
creating a new self, and you can start creating changes, and um, and start getting the results that you want. It's just
Yeah.
the question is, are you really willing to do that? And because you're able,
Yeah.
but are you willing to make that sacrifice or make that decision?
Yeah. It's
You really want to
the
have that.
question that pops into my head because I hear a lot of older people say that, oh, that's just the way I am, or no, I'm too old to change. Has it something to do with age? Or is it,
No,
it doesn't matter. No.
no, it has nothing to do with age. You can see like 70-year-old men pumping in the gym, or even women, and they have the six pack, being super healthy. Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
like that's. So no, it has nothing to do with age. It's only the program that you have in your. That's the paradigm you have in your mind.
Yeah.
That's the
So
only
would you
thing
say
that.
that aging is also something that's just happening inside your head? Because so many people, when they get older, they feel older, so they start to look older, and they get pains and all um, those pains and those things that come with getting older.
Mm,
Is it so? Is it something that is just mindset based? Of course, genes and stuff like
yeah.
that have to do with it as well. But
Mm. I think you can. I think mindset is a very huge part because if you see yourself as this healthy old woman and going to the gym, I see like people in there, they can barely stand up. Like, and I'm so fascinated every time I see this man. I think it's like 80, and he's going out for a run. It's not a fast run. He is out running.
yeah,
And every time I see him, it's like, I want to be like that when I grow up.
yeah,
Like, I want to be this old woman, like barely standing up, but I'm still running by the beach on my
yeah.
super small steps, but I'm taking myself forward. Like, that's the image that I want to have when I'm 80.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot is about the mindset that you have. And people, we are programmed to believe that we can only live until some certain age. And this you can argue how much you want. And I don't know if anything is right or wrong. That's true. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, there are people that still are living until they are 100, and they're not having this unhealthy, like super healthy diet, but they are so happy and they are so filled with life, and they feel like they are 70, so yeah, it's a lot about mindset. If you start feeling old, it's because you have in your mind that you are old, and it can be because you got this idea from some other relative
Yeah.
way back. And we see these people, and it's like, oh yeah, now I'm getting 70. Now I remember that my grandmother, she was really in a bad health by that time. And and then you start creating this reality for yourself, like, now, but now I start to feel like it aches here and it hurts there, and you start creating this for yourself, and you're disintegrating instead. So you can actually choose a little bit how you want to come to the old age, like if you want to be happy or healthy, and it's just a decision. So yeah, I
Fascinating.
truly believe it's a lot about mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. But I think it's really fascinating.
That
It's really
is.
cool how much power the mind has when it comes
Mm,
to our life, love life, finances, the house
yeah,
that we live in, the car that we are driving, the way we look. It's
exactly. It's
fascinating.
everything is just a reflection of what you believe.
Yeah.
If you believe you can make a lot of money easy, you will make a lot of money easy. If you believe that money is hard, money will
Then
be hard.
yeah.
So whatever you believe, it's gonna manifest because you are aligned with that thought. You believe it, and yeah, that's the vibration you put out in the universe. So
Cool.
that's what comes back.
Yeah. Really interesting. Okay, so if people want to hire you as a coach or just have to talk to you about this kind of topic, how can people find you?
Yeah, good question. Where did they find me?
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
not
I
your
have
house number or something, but
like, should I give out my number now? No, just kidding. Well, they can find me on LinkedIn. I am on
okay.
LinkedIn, and I have a Facebook page. I have a group that's called Higher Awareness Academy, and they will find my Facebook page as well. And they will just search for my name, and they will find me, Maria Andreas and Medina.
Okay.
Um, and LinkedIn, yeah,
Okay, and
same
the
there.
Facebook page, well, what is there in the Facebook page? What are you talking about?
Well, it's a lot about code. It's like I'm very interested in emotional intelligence too, so it's a little bit of both. So in my group, I am basically doing my webinars and teaching people who are there to like really put the best, like have a successful mindset to achieve whatever they want. And I don't know. It's like I think it's I think it's so much knowledge there that we don't get in school,
Yeah.
because in school we get so much, yes, knowledge when it comes to things that happen, but they don't teach us to really make decisions, how to really use our mindset, how to use our higher faculties. And that's the things that I would like want to teach the people
Yeah.
in my group, and like really helping them get more aware of.
Basically teach life. I mean, at school they
Yeah,
teach you they teach you everything except how to live your life.
exactly. It's like then barely teach you how to pay bills. Like,
No, that's true. Like seriously, it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I've
yeah,
learned so much when I was done with school and
yeah,
in school. I know how to count and I know how to multiply, but I know a little bit of history, but that's it. It's not really teaching you about life. So I think it's amazing that you have a group like teaching all of that we need to know.
yeah. Exactly. How to use their intuition. Like the intuition is such an important tool to use. But men think they don't have intuition, which is crazy because they're really missing out on something super important. And
Yeah.
women, we are more adaptable, and we use our intuition more naturally. But it's funny because now that I talk with men that are understanding what I coach with, thinking to results and with the fields and everything, they they talk so much of how they are developing their intuition and how they really are being connected and seeing so much more possibilities, and they get the right connection, they get the right information, and everything happens so fast when you start using them. You can start changing results so easily
Yeah.
by using your higher faculties and understand how to use them.
Yes. Okay, well, this was an interesting, really interesting, amazing talk, and I want to thank you for it.
Thank you
And
for inviting me.
yeah, you're welcome. I'm happy that we got to connect, because I think this is one of the most interesting conversations that I've had. Like all the others, of course, I love every interview that I have, but this one, yeah, it's really interesting. Like I want to thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I'm really happy to be able to. I hope I helped someone there out there today. So yeah,
Yes.
really happy
Okay.
to serve.
Well, I'll leave everything in the description box so everybody can look you up and find you and talk about this. If you want to know more about this topic.
Well, thank you so much, and I'll just give you the details then.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.